Hi, Taylor. This is Dr. Leitner, and so I put some comments on your research project, and I've also recorded this audio, so kind of walking you through my comments and that kind of thing. Anywhere you see a yellow means it's kind of like a caution, kind of means there's a problem here. In some cases I comment on it, in some cases I don't, but I'll comment on all of that in the audio here. All right, so the first thing you need to do, and I think you kind of realized this when you emailed me, is this is kind of all over the place. It's got a lot of good information, but it's not organized into a single purpose. So what you need to do is go back and watch that video that kind of outlines all the different parts that this needs to have, and then figure out who you're talking to, because it seems like you're talking to someone who doesn't think, when you're writing this, the voice that's coming through is talking to somebody who doesn't think LGBTQ youth are facing a problem. And so it's a lot of, oh, there's this problem, there's this problem, there's this problem. But then you say you're writing to LGBTQ groups. Well, that doesn't make sense, because that group knows that there's a problem. So it's fine to have that information, but you would only be arguing that this really is a problem, and going into the extended, discussion of it, if the listener did not think it was a problem. Someone like your boyfriend doesn't think there's a problem. Okay, so this is almost like you've written it to him or someone like that. Okay, so first thing to do, go back, add sections, and here's all the sections you need: background, definition of problem, literature review, proposed plan of action. And that's right over here in this main comment I made. So background is the situation, okay, the present situation we find ourselves in with LGBTQ people and youth being bullied. Okay, so you just have to mention that once. Once you have that in the background as the problem, that's it. And if you're writing to someone who doesn't think it's a problem, that might be a longer section. Okay, so maybe you have a longer background section. Then you're going to kind of have the definition of the problem, which again might be, very. In your case, this is kind of similar to the background. Okay, but here's where you're making it a little more narrow. Like why are LGBTQ youth being bullied? Okay, what's the cause of this? Okay, and then you can say, okay, here's what the literature says. Next section is a literature review. What does the current state of research on this topic according to 5 to 8 sources? And then the last section is going to be where you're going to recommend some course of action. It doesn't have to solve the whole problem, but it's going to be something like, I'm writing to you group, okay, whatever community group you're writing to. And here's what you all need to do to help not resolve the problem, but move closer to a resolution of the problem. So let me just go through some of the comments here. This where I've this yellow highlight, this is not a sentence, so make sure, if you have a fragment like this, that's a pretty egregious error. You want to make sure there's none of those in any of your English papers or papers for other classes. And I realize this is a rough draft, so not a big deal, but some errors are minor, some are major. That's a major one. Okay, so here, let's see. The LGBTQ students who do associate with this community. Okay, so here there's a problem with that comma. You are a comma happy person. You like to put in commas, especially after your introductory phrases. So you want to watch out and don't put like the LGBTQ the students. You're not going to put a comma between that and are, right? So between your subject and your verb, you're usually not going to have a comma. It's just going to be the students who do are. Okay. So here again, pay attention to your verbs. Okay. All the reasons, not is. All the reasons are. Okay. If the name of a magazine or a newspaper needs to be in italics. Okay. This quote is a little long. You need to figure out what you want to say and then pick the 3 to 8 words that supports what you're trying to say. And this paragraph in general has lots of good information, but it's all over the place. So here you're starting with a quote, but what's the quote supporting? What are you trying to say? Are you just trying to say, this is really a detail, because what you're trying to say is these students are discriminated against. How are they discriminated against? Well, they don't even have their own books in the library, right? That's a supporting detail that not proves, but suggests why they're discriminated against. So this whole paragraph is really a detail of the larger thing you want to say. So it needs to be in a different section, not in the background section or something like that. So maybe this is the problem. Maybe you're writing to a school system and you're saying one way we can combat this is have more of these books in the library. This is a paragraph that you kind of can take out because the next paragraph basically does that work for you. Other comments here. Okay, paragraph you can take out. Yeah, and there's not much more comments because what you need to do is you need to figure out who you're writing to and what you want them to do. Okay, so that's the biggest thing, Teylar. And if you have questions on that, please let me know. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.